Well, we are looking forward to seeing Serena Williams back to defend her title at the Australian Open in a couple weeks. Now, since leaving the tour to have a daughter, her ranking has dropped outside of the top 20, but most people still believe she is the best player in the world, and that's where she is rated with the UTR, the Universal Tennis Rating. And Tennis Channel very excited to be partnering with Universal Tennis to help grow the sport using technology. We are happy to welcome the new CEO of Universal Tennis, Mark Leschly, to Tennis Channel Live. Welcome to the program. Mark played collegiately at Harvard, an ATP-ranked tour player, also played on the Danish Davis Cup team. How did this partnership come about between Tennis Channel and Universal Tennis?
Well, Universal Tennis is all about technology. And so what we're trying to do is we want to bring technology to the average tennis player. And of course, that's about making the game more accessible. And so our mission is shared with Tennis Channel, and we're collaborating, and we have a long-term partnership that we're going to continue to bring things on air and help you guys with your broadcast, and hopefully you will help us with our business. It's
an awesome power index we're going to use throughout the year here on Tennis Channel. College coaches have been using this for recruiting for a long time. So what is the UTR, the Universal Tennis Rating? It ranks professionals, college players, juniors within the same system. Rating between 1 and 16 reflects the level of play across all genders and all play. And 3 factors go into that rating: the competition, the score, and the recent matches. So Mark, give us a little bit more about how this all works.
Yeah, so as you saw in that graphic there, the great thing about this system is that it really takes every player. So every player of every age, of every gender, of every nationality, and it's independent of economics. So the wonderful thing is it puts everybody in the same standard. And so what it is, at the end of the day, it's an algorithm, and there's a rating. It's a number from 1 to 16 that you're given based on your level of play, how well you compete against opponents, as well as the strength of your opponent, as well as your history of matches.
All right, so tell us how this can be relevant for viewers out there that are not playing tournaments.
Yeah, so today Universal Tennis Rating basically takes all tournament players and gives them a rating. What we want to do is we want to give it to every tennis player on the planet. So the idea here is that we will enable, just like golf, for you to be able to post your scores, for you to be able to track and measure how well you develop as a player, and for you to be able to find other players to play with across gender and across age. So imagine a world in which your local club, your community, your ex-college players, you all know what level you're at, and now you can find people to play with. So we're going to take a little bit of Instagram, a little bit of Google, a little bit of Uber, a little bit of Match.com, and use all of that technology to hopefully make the game more enjoyable for you, find new opportunities to play, and for you to become a better tennis player.
It's a social world, so we're using the Universal Tennis Rating to help us socially as well on the court. Let's take a look now at the UTRs compared to the ATP ranks for the top 10 on the men's side. Rafa Nadal, Roger Federer, obviously 1-2 in the world. They're also number 1 when it comes to UTR, but there are some players that stand out here.
Yeah, there absolutely are. So if you see here and you look at the ratings relative to the rankings, what jumps out at you immediately is sort of Andy Murray and Djokovic in particular. These are guys that right now rank in the top 10 from a rating perspective, but have fallen out of the rankings on the ATP. And of course, that's a function of the fact that they've been injured and they've been off. And so clearly the rating now is considering them to be much better players than their ATP ranking is.
Right. Heading into 2018, Mark, who's potentially an up-and-comer here on the ATP Tour?
Yeah, so I think heading into 2018, I think there are a couple interesting people coming. One is Young Chung. Young Chung is a young up-and-coming player. He just won the U21 championship. He's a very exciting player. He's got an ATP ranking of 58, but he's really spiking much more on the UTR rank. So that's somebody to definitely look out for.
And we saw him as well win his first-round match in Brisbane. He took out Gilles Muller, and Gilles Muller is ranked higher. Gilles Muller ranked right now at 25 in the world, but his UTR was actually 34. So Chung ranked higher in UTR than the ATP ranking. That worked out. Who's somebody who's potentially overrated?
Well, probably the one that comes to mind is Pablo Busta. I mean, Pablo Busta is a top 10 ATP ranked player. He's only 34 in our rankings on UTR. And the reason is that despite the fact that he got to the semifinals of Indian Wells and he got to the semifinals at the US Open, he really didn't beat a lot of great players. He only won one event last year. So in our algorithm, given the strength of schedule, he would skew a little bit lower.
So his UTR is actually number 34 in the world, where his ATP ranking is number 10. Guess what happened in Doha? He loses to Borna Coric in the first round. Let's see on the women's side, looking at all the UTRs compared to the WTA rankings. Obviously, the big one that stands out, Serena Williams, 22 in the world ranking-wise, but #1 with UTR.
Yeah, so I think most people would anecdotally say that Serena is the best player in the world. I think the fact that she slipped on the WTA ranking is a function of the fact that she's been out of the game, that she had a child 4 months or so ago. She's obviously gearing up for the Australian Open, and we certainly have her as the top-rated player in the world.
And Maria Sharapova as well, ranked at 59, but rated as number 10. On the men's side, we had Young Chung as a guy who's up and coming. How about on the women's side? Belinda Bencic, perhaps.
Belinda. I think Belinda is a very interesting player. She obviously is a former top 10 player. I think she was injured. She was away for the game for a period of time. She's made a tremendous run recently in challengers. And as a result now, whereas her ranking is 74, her UTR rating, by virtue of the strength of schedule and how well she's winning decisive matches, has spiked her up to 18.
All right, so this is something we'll be using throughout the year here on Tennis Channel, where you can compare the UTR with the rankings, and then heading into a match, you can see what their UTRs are comparably, and maybe when Serena Williams plays her first-round match, second-round match at the Australian Open, playing somebody who's ranked higher, but we'll see that she, going into that match, UTR-wise, would be the favorite. For all the viewers out there, what's the one takeaway that you want them to have from today?
Yeah, I mean, the crux of what we're trying to do with Universal Tennis is improve the game for you. So go to myutr.com. We've developed a tool here where any player now can establish a UTR rating. And in the coming months, we're going to provide technology so you can refine that rating and hopefully use that rating to find other play opportunities and improve your game and enjoy your game.
And that can come after one match. So if I don't have a UTR right now, you do, we go out and play. Depending on the score of that match, I get a rating.
If we play a close match, you'll get a rating.
He'd probably beat me love and love, and then I would have no rating. But
we need a few more data points.
Thank you, Mark, so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We are looking forward to being teammates throughout this year here on Tennis Channel.
Pleasure. Thanks.
All right, when we come back, we are leading up to action in Brisbane. Dennis Istomin and Jared Donaldson, our first match, as well as Young Chung, Kyle Edmund. We're going to show you the UTRs comparatively for all these matches. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Tennis Channel Live.